I always like to use a spray when I start scissoring, just because it helps the hair stand up and stay in place as you go. I don't really like to scissor dry hair. So I started by picking up the foot and combing it all down. And then I'm going to trim off anything that would touch the ground. And I comb down the hock too, and I'm taking anything off that's going to be past the large pad. And then trimming this right up to the toenail, the front of the foot. I'm going to comb it all down and get a nice round foot, angling my scissors outwards so that I don't take off any leg hair. And she had clean feet. It looks like they were growing out, so she doesn't have a whole lot of hair on her feet right now, but with this excess, we can cover it by not taking off a bunch above it. Now I'm going to comb all of the hair forward at the front of the leg, all of the hair back at the back of the leg, and then I'm going to reach in and do the same with the inside hairs also, so that I have to make only one cut to set in my outline, as opposed to having to have to go back in and combing it again to do it again there. Now I'm going to use these are extreme curves to set in this rear. Even though I already did it with my clippers, I can definitely make it just a little bit more flashy, taking it nice and tight at the bend, and then coming back out at the hock, and then angling it back into the foot. And then I'm going to make the other side match. So we want it all to flow together. So I'm going to take it so it's coming out and following these lines. Put in the knee and bring it back into the foot. And now we've got some nice angulation on this back leg. I'm going to fluff up the sides of the leg now that I've set in my outline of that leg. And now I'm going to even out these straight lines that I made. Of course, I brought the tiniest little straights ever for this trip for some reason, but working with what I've got. And I'm just looking at this straight line and trimming all the way straight down to the ground, looking at the dog from the back. And then when you look at them from slightly above and you move forward a little bit, you just make sure that all of that hair matches that line that you made originally. You want it all to flow through. And then I'm going to make the inner leg match the outer leg, straight down to the ground. Fluff it all back up. I'm going to give it a little spray first. And then I'm going to go in with blenders and start blending everything together. And this is just taking off the ends, but it's getting all of those lines to kind of come together to get a smoother finish. So now we've got some really pretty angulation on the back leg now. One thing that should always point out is at this little tuck up area, make sure to really pull out any hairs there because something will always come out, and I like to point my scissors straight down and blend it all in because you don't want hairs hanging there. You are fine. You're fine. I promise. With the front leg, I'm going to comb everything down. Give it a little spritz. Pull everything down. And anything hanging over the pads is going to get trimmed off. Okay. Hey. You're okay. I'm going to cut it right up to the toenails at the front of the foot. Put the foot down. Comb everything down. And angling my scissors down as much as I can. I'm going to take off anything that's still touching the ground. Now I'm going to do the same thing as I did on that back leg. I'm going to comb everything in the front, out to the front. Same thing with the inside of the leg. And then with the back leg, comb everything at the back. And then pull from the inner back leg and pull that out also. And now what I'm going to do is blend in the chest into the front of the leg. And then bring it straight down into the toe, if she'll let me. This is a very stressful situation for dogs, so it makes sense that some of them have a little bit of trouble being on display. You're okay. I'm going to take it tighter at the elbow and then just slightly out and then back in at the foot.
Okay, thank you. I want that water.
Now that I've set in the outline on the front leg, I'm going to spritz her, comb it all up on the sides of the leg, all the way up into the elbow. Same thing on the inner leg. And we're going to point the scissors straight down from the shoulder and go all the way down to the ground. I'm using the chunkers. Normally I would set these in with my straights, but I'm using the chunkers for this right now only because she's so nervous that she's moving a lot and I don't want to leave a big old hole in her if I'm using my straights. So this is just a little bit of a safer choice for a nervous dog. Straight down to the ground from the shoulder. And then same on the inside. We're going to make it match. If you ever take out a little bit, you can always use thinning shears on this coat type. It'll help to blend in any lines that you may have made, especially when they hop around and stuff. You wouldn't think to use thinning shears on this type of coat, but it really does help sometimes. Now I'm just combing it a bunch of times just to neaten up any sticky outies. And she started with a lot of hair, so it'll take a little bit longer to get a finish on her. Make sure to move around your dog, because from every other angle, you're going to find something somewhere that's still sticking out. So just constantly move around your dog. I've never been able to sit while grooming because I need to be constantly going around. Okay. Now I'm going to do the same to the other side. Comb everything down, including all that hawk hair. When I pull that hawk hair down and trim it, it's going to set in the angle of the hawk. So I'm going to pull it down. Anything past the pads is coming off. And trimming right up the front of the foot, right to the toenail. Comb it all down again. I had basically already started the square when I trimmed the underside, so now I'm just rounding out the edges. Comb everything forward at the front of the leg, pull it from the inside of the leg and do the same. Everything at the back of the leg, comb back, and do the same from the inside of the leg. And now I'm going to set in this back angle